All right. I recently got my hair trimmed. Actually, yesterday I got my hair trimmed, and it's not good. Okay, I'll just spoiler alert. I did a bad job straightening it, or it was straightened and then I like slept on it. Like that we can all ignore. We'll start with towards the front here. I don't know if you can tell this. There's like bits that are like super uneven. It's all around uneven and choppy, like the whole way around, but it gets worse as you get toward the back. She didn't show me the back when she cut my hair, and I just kind of assumed that it would be fine because I've gotten my hair cut at the same place before several times, like 5 times, and it's always been perfectly fine. Everything's always been perfect. I've never had a problem up until this time. It's absolutely horrible. Like, I don't know what she was going for. It's just absolutely, like, what is this? Like, in a way, like, I guess it could be cute just because it's hair, you know? I mean, it could be worse, you know? It could be a lot worse, but it's just really bad. Like, look at this. There's just like this weird like little bit here that she probably missed. And I just asked for a trim. My last video, you can probably go look at how my hair looked. It was almost all the same length. There were no layers. It was all the same length, except it kind of slightly came down in the front. I don't understand. I don't know. It's very weird. I told her I just wanted like a 1/2 inch trim, and then this kind of same thing happened with my bangs where they are very uneven, and I used to have like shape where it was like face framing. And she asked me several times if I wanted my bangs trimmed, and that was like the first thing I had asked her was like, hey, can you cut my bangs? Because they're in my eyes. They were like down to here. And she asked me like what shape I wanted, and I don't know why she would ask me when she can clearly see with her own eyes what shape they already were. So I told her, like, I described to her what she could see herself, which was that it kind of came down and like faded into the length. And then she asks me after I tell her that, oh, you want that on just one side or both? Like, I don't know, lady, look at both sides. Is it like that on both sides? Like, this side you can see how like she sort of followed how it was, and then on this side it's like just like, you know what, she just like got sick of cutting and just decided to cut everything, just chop. That's kind of how I feel like the whole thing was. Like, she just didn't feel like doing a haircut and just decided to just chop, chop, chop. When she cut it, she kind of like sprayed it first with water so that, you know, it was like wet. And like the way my hair is when it's wet, it's not like this at all, where it's like straight. It turns like really like poofy and stuff. So I couldn't tell at all how bad it was. It all just kind of like faded together and kind of like poofed out, which is how my hair always looks after I get it cut. Like, I never like the way my hair looks right after it's been cut when it's wet still. It always like is like bad. So I just kind of have to like gauge more or less like if the length looks good and if it looks even on both sides, and then I'm like, yeah, it looks great, thanks. And then like later that day after it dries, I'm just like, what did this lady do? Like, I'm not so much upset that my hair looks bad, because first and foremost, like, I'm not the one that has to look at it, everybody else does. It's on my head, so I never have to see it really. Plus, like, it'll grow back, and if anybody asks me where I got it cut, and I tell them who did it, like, they're gonna know it was her. So it's not like I'm gonna give like a good review. They're gonna say, hey, like, let me know where not to go, right? So it's not so much that upsets me as the fact that, like, she literally, like, got paid to do that, you know? Like, I gave her a tip and everything, because I always do. I always, like, tip more than 20% when I get a haircut. That's just what I think is fair. And if I go back and get it fixed, then probably somebody else is gonna fix it, and then do I, like, tip them too? Then I've had to pay for my haircut twice. And then if I don't tip them, then she's the one that got the tip for doing a terrible job. And then the other person that fixes it, who does a good job, doesn't get a tip. Like, it's screwed up. It's not fair. It's just super weird. And I don't know if it's the same lady that cut my hair the first time, because I have very, very poor facial recognition. I, like, can barely recognize people that I know on a regular basis. I recognize people mostly, like, by their clothing and, like, by the way they move and the way they talk and, like, the way they walk and everything. I don't really recognize people's faces very well, so if I don't know a person, I have a hard time recognizing them if I see them again. And the lady that cut my hair, she, like, remembered a conversation that we'd had the last time. It had to be the same lady, because otherwise how would she remember this conversation? She had asked me about the way my hair was cut, and I kind of had it in, like, a hime cut before, where it's, like, bangs and then, like, a short, like, a mid-layer or mid-length right here, and then longer. That's how my hair was before I had it cut short. So I had to, like, explain to her that it wasn't just, like, a haircut that I decided on. It's, like, a thing in other cultures. Like, I told her that I like anime, and I guess the way she remembered the conversation was that I told her I wanted to look like an anime character. I know I didn't say that. It's really silly, but if that's what she remembers, that's fine, and I'm not gonna, like, correct her. I just told her, yeah, I remember that conversation. So yeah, she remembered the last conversation we had, even though my hair is a completely different color. It used to be purple the last time. That's why I feel like it has to be, like, the same lady. Maybe I thought she was the first lady, and no, that doesn't even make sense, because that one lady was the first lady of the United States of America. No, I remembered her haircut. It was, like, kind of short, and she kind of had, like, the layery back. I don't want my hair like that. I think it looks... I'm not gonna, like, say something insulting toward people that have that haircut. A lot of people like that haircut, and, like, around where I live, that's, like, kind of a common thing for people to get, so I don't want to say something insulting about it, but I don't personally like how it looks on me. It's kind of, like, known as, like, the "can I speak to your manager" haircut, or the Karen haircut, and, like, in my mind, I associate it with people who are, like, rude and bossy, and I'm the opposite of that. I don't like being like that. I go out of my way to be as little like that as possible. I hate coming across that way, especially toward people I don't know. If I could name one personality trait that described me, the way I act most of the time, it would be I avoid being that way. I avoid any kind of, like, confrontation or acting, like, bossy toward people that I don't know. Like, I just think it's the most unattractive quality that a person could have as far as the way I see myself. Like, I just think that would be the ugliest thing. So I avoid acting that way at all costs, and I don't, like, want my hair to look like people who are super, like, assertive and bossy all the time. That's, like, the opposite of my personality. So I really don't like that haircut. I think it's absolutely terrible. And I'm pretty sure this lady kind of had that haircut the first time she cut my hair, which is fine. If she thinks it looks good, then that is completely fine. She can have that haircut and nobody can tell her otherwise. But I definitely I don't want that haircut, and I specifically told her that I wanted it all the same length. Somehow it looks, like, super freaking weird. Like, it looks like she was angry that I didn't want that haircut. That's what it looks like. It looks like she was thinking, oh, you don't want this haircut? Well, here's what you get for not wanting this haircut. I'm gonna give you the haircut and I'm gonna make it even worse. Like it's awful. And the thing that makes it even worse is like, it's kind of tolerable because my hair is 2 different colors right now. Actually, that kind of makes it even more obvious, really, because you can tell by the layers underneath how uneven it is. But it kind of like makes it at least look interesting. But the main reason I wanted a trim was because I need to finish bleaching the rest of my hair so that it's all this light. And then I'm going to do it a color. So it's going to look extra weird when I have like this super weird haircut and it's all choppy and ugly and my hair is like mint green. Like, it's going to be really weird. Like, the two are not going to go well together. I even told her, like, I'm growing out my hair. I just wanted, like, my dead ends trimmed and I wanted my bangs trimmed. And somehow she took off so much length. Like, I literally said, she asked me if I wanted, like, a 1/2 inch. I said, yeah, a 1/2 inch or less. I don't know. I might, like, include a clip or two from my last video where you can see, like, how my hair looked before and determine for yourself if you think she took off a 1/2 inch and left the cut the same as it was. Oh, where's my coffee? Okay. That I needed to do with my day. Or you can decide for yourself. I'm just like super annoyed about it. It's like, I don't want to go and ask them to fix it and then have them cut it even shorter and then have it still look bad or something and just keep cutting away at my hair until there's nothing left. Like, that's what I'm afraid of. It's just not good. Anyway.